This is your 1-minute warning until we will begin our ceremony this evening. Just 1 minute, and we'll begin our proceedings. Definitely no shortage of smiles over the course of the season, and I know that it doesn't cover some of the other moments that are not so graceful and beautiful that you guys endure when things don't go your way out on the track. But tonight, we celebrate the champions from the 2025 season, and I think it's important to also recognize and celebrate 20 years of the Hotshot Secret Pro Pulling League. So if you remember, in the fall of 2005, this organization was founded out of necessity to continue to grow the sport while providing more options for pullers and promoters to provide top-tier entertainment to thousands of fans at venues across the Midwest and the South. And that quality live entertainment has been the bread and butter and provided a vehicle to grow our sport through multimedia outlets, including national television coverage, real-time live streaming, and new and historic content on YouTube. And if you weren't here last night and you didn't hear the announcement, and maybe you haven't been on the internet or you live under a rock, you didn't hear that there's more to celebrate with the announcement of the Fent High Stakes Series, which will feature 5 venues showcasing pulling at its best. And this alliance of PPL and IHRA on this series will allow opportunities for new partners like the AGCO Corporation to promote their Fent brand while also putting more money in the pockets of pullers with one of the largest purses in the history of the PPL. So I think that there is a lot to celebrate tonight. There's a lot to be excited about for what has happened in 2025 and what's to come also in the 2026 season. So we've got a lot of programming tonight. I promise that's about as long as you'll hear me talk tonight. Now, you pullers with your championship speeches, you can talk as long as you want when you get up here. You won. So that's as long as you're going to hear from me. But we couldn't do all this without the staff and the support people that are here with us tonight. So as I call names, we know you're bashful. We know you don't like the recognition, except for Keenan. He likes to be recognized. But we ask that you stand and be recognized, and we'll hold our applause to the ends for these folks that work tirelessly at these events to make them happen for you guys. Abby Asher, Amy Estes, Brian Lively, Brandon Dunn, Carl Ruddick, Cheryl Asher. No wardrobe problems tonight, Cheryl. Thank you. I didn't need you to sew anything into me tonight. Chris Cooper White, Clay Chastain, Connor McGowan, Kurt Shanow, Dan Mayer, Dirk Drury, Eugenia Shaw, Faith Camfield, Hannah Chastain, Harley Melton, Jackie Kometz, Jeremy Krieger, Jerry Nelson, Jesse Post, Jimmy Barden, Joseph Bossio, John Comstock, John Stranley, Catherine Mears. Catherine Mears. You're supposed to stand up. Go ahead and stand up, Catherine Mears. Thank you. Keenan Brault, Keith Kelly, Clint Tucker, Kurt Shanow, Kurt Simmons, Kyle Kramer, Larry Richwine, Laura Brockhouse, Leroy Brown Jr., Lester Shaw, Lily Asher, Mark Asher, Mark Lowe, Matt Tuffley, Melissa Hyder, Mike Etzkorn, Mike Post, Miles Krieger, Morris Kemp, Nicholas Asher, Randy Koenig, Robert Griffin, or Lester, or Bob, or any of the other names he gets called, Ron Linder, Ross Fitz, Sam Kelly, Stacy Kometz, Stacy Budson, Steve Johnsrud, Sue Brown, and Yana Limecooler. Let's hear it for all these guys and the hard work they put into this season. And we couldn't put on over 250 events underneath the Hotshot Secret Propylene League umbrella if it wasn't for our member state groups. And so the ones that are present tonight, we want to recognize you. From the Ohio State Tractor Pullers Association, OH. Randy and Susie Fishbaugh. From the Atlantic Pro Pulling Group, Dave Moore and Tara Brittner. From the Empire State Pullers, Jim and Sarah Franz. From the Mid-South Pullers, Russell and Sandy Counts. Thanks again, Russell. From the New York Tractor Pullers Association, Will LaRue. Representing the Badger State Tractor Pullers, Greg Elsing. And from Mid-South, Rodney Swift. We've also got some special guests here with us tonight as well. From Hotshot Secret, Kyle Fisher, Matt Steinmetz, and Vanessa Schreck. Please welcome Paul Richardson from Police Performance Engineering. From CM Pulling Tires, Chad Mayhill. Derek Bargy is here tonight from AP1. If we can get him to shut off the Buckeye game, I know he's watching that somewhere. From Apex Turbo, Brenton Rogers. Craig Sage from SCS Gearbox. From Parks Puller, Bob Parks. And Aaron Hall representing Hall Machine. How about all our great sponsors that are here with us tonight? And then finally, 4 folks that are here with us tonight representing different groups that put on polls that welcome us into their homes or their tracks and to their venues for our event so we can do what we love to do. From the Elkhart County 4-H Fair Poll in Goshen, Indiana, Fred Jessup and Corky Wagner. Jacob Olson representing the Hillsboro Charity Poll, Hillsboro, Wisconsin. Debbie and Kent Crowder from the Scheid Diesel Extravaganza in Terre Haute, Indiana. That's new, so going to make a return after all these years to Terre Haute. And representing the Durana Dragway, Kyle Matcham. Okay, well, we came to crown champions and give out awards and hardware. So at this time, let me welcome Keenan Bro and Derek Bargee to the stage for the AP1 Midwest Region Awards. Derek, did you want to say something before we got started?
Yeah, my name's Derek Bargee, AP1 Insurance. Want to thank everybody for their business. If you don't know, we do motorsports insurance. We can also do auto for your toters and RVs and everything going up down the road. We're happy to partner with PPL and the continued long partnership we've had. We thank everybody here for your business and looking to continue to grow. And what an exciting announcement, after 20 years to, change things up and this high stakes series. So that looks to be exciting, and hopefully we get some more information on that. But congratulations tonight to all the champions. Thank you.
We are going to start with the Hot Farm Tractors. So as you hear your class called, if you are in the top 10, go ahead and start making your way up to the stage. Keenan has the good stuff. Derek will be doing the handshaking, and then we will let our champion be recognized. So for the Hot Farm Tractors presented by Northwoods Engineering, 11 events on the season, 6 different winners, and we'll start with 10 and work our way up to 1. In the 10 spot, Brian Rexing, Milk Money. Red Strokes and Jeff Fleck finished 9th. 8th place, Dan Mercer and More Milk Money. 7th, Written in Red, Jeff Fleck. Randy Beggle and Foul Play finished 6th. 5th, Every Last Inch, Brian Pruitt. Brody Typin and the Nightlife, 4th. 3rd, The Ragin' Buck, Caleb Werner. John Chastain and the Ditter Deer, 2nd. And your champion took the lead at the 2nd event of the season and held it to the end with a domineering presence. Congratulations to your winner, Jordan Harris and Magnified.
First off, I want to thank PPL and all the sponsors for the chance to be up here tonight. And I'm going to start with my wife. She many tireless hours and all the money we spend. If you don't say a word. And I want to thank Luke Miller at 300 Plus Performance. I wouldn't have a chance to run like it does if it don't without him. Another thing, I want to thank the 9500. We come in here a couple of years ago, and they've been awesome family, and can't ask for a better group of guys to pull with. And as far as PPL goes, it's pretty awesome. So we look forward to this coming year, and hopefully we can be back.
Congratulations, Hot Farms. Our next group will be the Super Farm Tractors. We are going to get some pictures here. So Super Farms, if you want to start making your way towards the stage. A sprint of a season for the Super Farms. We'll give you the top 5. Brett Weber and Never Say Never finished 5th. The Redweiser and Eddie Rowe 4th. Jeremy Roberts and the Wicked Whitetail 3rd. Mac Darnell and Maximum Overdrive 2nd. And your champion, Josh Miley in High Maintenance.
I just want to thank John and Christy and the whole PPL crew, Keenan for putting up with us. I mean, we got to put up with him too. But it's a pleasure going and pulling with this group of guys on a smaller level. I want to thank Hart's Diesel and Chad Mayhill with CM Pulling Tires and my family for letting me do what we do and helping us get up and down the road. So thank you.
Brooks, do you have a speech too? Pretty soon he'll be giving the speeches, that's for sure. If you've seen him on a garden tractor, you know he can do it. Congratulations, Super Farms. Next up, our Pro Stock 4x4 trucks, a handful of events for the class this season, and we're going to give you the top 5. 5th, Back in Black, James Corey, Isaac Hilburn, and Gray Area 4th. Major Payne and Jonathan Payne 3rd. Terry Hornicle and Overkill 2nd. And the champion, Brad Chamberlain, in Last Chance. And on behalf of Brad, we accept the award for him, and we will get that out to him as well. So let's hear it for the Pro Stock 4x4 trucks. Oh, they told me we didn't have a champion. I didn't realize everybody else was here too. I'm sorry, I did not mean to run over your class. John told me I had to go fast tonight. Something about I talk too much. Congratulations once again. So the last of our AP1 Midwest Region classes to be recognized will be the Wagler Performance Limited Pro Stock Diesel Truck. So lots of back and forth action for this class this season with 6 different winners in 13 events over the course of the season. We'll start with the 10th. The Wrecker, Adam Halian. CW Cartmel and Most Hated 9th. 8th, The Matrix and Travis Pushler. Nick Zankirk and High Stakes 7th. 6th, Hellfire and Jennifer Pushler. Tim Tuttle and Common Sense finished 5th. Adam Kincaid finished 4th with his truck. 3rd, The Gambler, Austin White. Landon and Caden Perkins finished 2nd in the Perkins Diesels Brothers truck. And it was a win at Tollsboro that helped the champion gain an edge, and he was able to fend off the competitive group to take the championship. Ethan Beard and Full Bore is your champ.
Ethan couldn't be here tonight. He's still playing in the field somewhere. He just wants to thank all the competitors, all the promoters that had our class this year. Agrotech 1, Wagglers, Hearts, all them guys. Thank you.
It'd get along better if you wouldn't reset the sled so much. Congratulations once again to our limited Pro Stock diesel trucks. And congratulations to all of our AP1 Midwest Region award winners. So for the first time tonight, I'd like to welcome John Mears and Christy Asher to the stage to present the Melba King scholarships presented by CM Pulling Tires. So some of you may remember Melba and Wayne King. Unfortunately, Melba passed away several years ago, and I know Wayne's health has prevented him from coming, but they were amazing champions of the sport. If you were lucky enough to know them, you got a little treat when they came around to see you in the pits, and they championed and campaigned all over the Midwest to see you guys perform, and just loved pulling. And so when Melba passed away, she's a big advocate for education, and so we wanted to make sure that we could honor her in some way. And so the scholarship was founded in order to do that.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Great fans to have at the events wherever they traveled, especially all those Illinois. I remember them coming from Goshen to Evansville, and we were going through like Napanee or whatever it was, and they would wave at us because they were eating breakfast. You know, they got a really good early head start. But this year's scholarship task was to do a social media post for a first-time fan, get them excited about pulling. And a lot of them did fantastic jobs, but the 3 that we selected just blew it out of the water. And it's in really no particular order. First up was the Mini Hot driver, Logan Stevens. Oh, you don't get to just sit back down, my man. No. Olivia Love. And from the Badger State land, Ashley McDonald.
So John just said that you have to talk. So I'll come to you. I'll make this easy for you. Listen, Logan's going straight up to the podium. I'll come to you, Olivia.
You know, whenever I first saw this scholarship, usually it's always something pretty simple. What's pulling mean to you? But this one means a little bit more to me. Being that I'm one of the younger guys in the sport, I'm always trying to get the younger generation and all the fans we can to the sport, because that's really what makes pulling what it is. It's a big family. So the more people we can get there is an amazing thing for this sport. But without my parents and without all the good people behind me, I wouldn't be here today. So thank you to everyone out here in this room. Thank you to John, Christy, Leslie. You guys do everything for us. It means the world. Thank you, guys.
So Olivia, for you, pulling is a little bit different operation. You're a little bit more behind the scenes, and so what's a little snippet of something that you've learned from pulling, that being on the road with your mom and dad? That's one thing, but being out there and being in the world of pulling that you've been able to kind of transfer into every day and take with you and make meaning.
I've learned to go with the flow. That's one thing, definitely. As someone pursuing a degree in business and a degree in marketing, when I saw that this was a social media post, it was right up my alley. So I couldn't help but love that. But pulling has just taught me so much about myself. Being involved with agriculture and tractor pulling, it's just been a huge part of my life. My family's been involved with this since before I was born. So it felt like the right step in the right direction when it came time to decide what I wanted to do with my life. So
I love it. Congratulations. Congratulations to you both. So we're going to give away some more stuff. We're going to honor some more champions, and this time from the Hart Diesel Silver Series. So John and Christy, I know you'll be presenting those awards, and we'll start with the Hall Machine Light Pro Stock Tractors. So Wisconsin, Indiana, and Kentucky highlighted 9 events for this class on the season with 7 different winners, but it came down to the final 2 hooks in Lanesville, Indiana to decide our championship. So we are going to give you the top 6. 6th, Matthew Meadows in 2 Relentless. 5th, About Time, Stephanie Famaville. Adam Lunau and 1 Bad Binder finished 4th. 3rd, Faster Yet, Mark Smith. 2nd, Shane Scott in Black and Blue. And getting just 4 points edge over 2nd place, it was Matt Smith in Fast Forward that took the championship.
I'd just like to say thank you to Hotshots, all the sponsors, Hall Machines, Harts Diesel, everyone that helps out. I do the easy part, just drive. Thank you.
Congratulations once again to the Hall Machine Light Pro Stock Tractors. Next up, we're going to honor our champion in the Harts Diesel Pro Stock Diesel Truck class. And so a limited number of hooks for this class with 3 different winners in the category. We'll start with 8th, Brady Ingram in the Shy Diesel Truck. 7th, Fancy Hooker, Paul Richardson. Cole Fable finished 6th in the Rumor. 5th was the Interstate Diesel Truck driven by Scott Willoughby. Dave Stahl and Chris Lemke drove Kurt to 4th. In 3rd, Thicker Than Blood, Josh Stahl. Matt Penn finished 2nd in the Penn Farms truck. And your champion made a commanding presence at the first event, didn't take his foot off the throttle all the way to the championship. Congratulations to Ben Schimpf, Trophy Hunter.
I just want to thank all the members at PPL, and it was a great season full with PPL, and all I want to thank is Hazley Machine for the power plant, and Weimer Fuel, and Nichols Tires, and my family for letting me enjoy the sport I love.
Congratulations, Pro Stock Diesel Trucks. And finally, we'll round out the Harts Diesel Silver Series by honoring our limited Pro Stock tractors presented by Kawasaki Parts Warehouse. 13 hooks, a single rainout, 9 different winners, along with 7 lead changes and 3 ties throughout the season that led to a very dramatic finish in Nashville, Illinois. And just an entertaining group on and off the track, if you know what I mean. We'll start with number 10. That's Brett Hagstad in the 618 Motorsports 4-1. 9th, the Red Express, driven by R&J Heron and Alex Hazard. Randy Stuckenschneider drove the Family Feud to 8th. 7th, Old Black Magic, driven by Rod and Gage Schottel. Mike Bausma drove Limited Edition to 6th. 5th was the Hellraiser International Addiction Edition by Henry and Jared DeBusseret. Steve Bozema in the Special Edition, 4th. 3rd, Moody, Justin Smith. Adrian Cox drove the Kickery Hooker to 2nd. And with 3 wins on the season, your champion, the Meyer Performance R&D, John Meyer Jr.
First of all, I'd like to thank John and Christy and their crew for everything they do for PPL. I want to thank my fellow 4-1 competitors for a fun and competitive summer. Harts Diesel for sponsoring the Silver Series. Kawasaki Auto Parts for the class sponsor. I want to thank Harts Diesel for the fuel and air. Anglican Dyno. Phil at Riverside. Northwoods Heads. Todd Flegel for cutting tires, Parks for the tires. I want to special thanks to my family and friends, my kids. Been a competitive summer, so I'd like to special shout out to Cole and Lane, my nephews. They helped me a lot this summer, so keep me out on the track. So thank you.
Congratulations, Limited Pro Stock Tractors. So another special award that we started giving out was the Ambassador Award. And most of us in here have been privileged to know John Muma, and we talked about the Ambassador Award and what an ambassador he was for the sport and how exciting and invigorating he was to talk to about pulling and getting things right and making sure that, we could do what we could for the sport. And so to honor John, we have the Ambassador Award.
This award is presented by Sassy Engines. The Ambassador Award winner for 2025 is what you call a quiet force in the sport of pulling, literally and figuratively. He has been tirelessly doing his work year-round over the course of 3 decades and a familiar part of many PPL events. To call him a builder shortchanges him. He is a craftsman, an innovator, as his work affected nearly every puller in this room. To call him simply an operator also falls short, as he works tirelessly to put on the best show possible for all of us. And like his peers, he remains undefeated against the pullers, because in the end, the sled always wins. Our 2025 John Muma Ambassador Award winner is Brandon Bungart.
Don't have a whole lot to say, but thanks, Pullen family, for all you mean to me, and been a great 21 years. Thank you.
So, we fly the green colors now. We are the Hotshot Secret Pro Pulling League. So at this time, we'd like to please welcome Kyle Fisher to the stage for a few words from Hotshot Secret.
Well, good evening. Just found out I was going to be given a few words, so here comes a few words. First of all, I think we were really excited for this opportunity for Hotshot Secret to come on and partner with Pro Pulling League. It was a year ago this time that we were chasing each other around, having meetings behind closed doors, running around PRI, trying to get this deal done. And I got to tell you, we're involved in a lot of motorsports, but partnering with this body has been just really rewarding. And I want everybody to give a big hand to John and Christy. They made all this really work for us. So, Hotshot Secret, we are just a family-owned company out of a little farm town in Ohio, and we have an absolute passion for what you all do. So I really want to thank all of you for bringing your passion to the sport. And just know that we're here to stay. We signed a multi-year deal out of the gate because we wanted to stick around and really support what you guys do. So keep doing what you're doing. If you need anything, come to Hot Shots. We're all family now. So keep it up. We'll see you guys next year.
Wait, Kyle, you can't leave yet. Okay, so you all know, Kyle didn't know tonight, but it's customary that we give something away. And so you've all seen the Polaris XP1000 in the corner. I think it's got a heavy-duty winch with a remote on it, 14-inch clearance, 82 horsepower. Listen, I did my homework. I also may be adding one to my Christmas list, too, after I was in Nashville this year, and I got to go through the Kawasaki Auto Parts showroom over there and see all the fun stuff that they had in Nashville, Illinois. If you haven't done that, you need to, but just bring your checkbook because you're going to leave with something. So, yes, John Mears, check Santa's list. So anyway, we are giving this away. So Kyle, you get to do the honors of pulling the card from the jar. So remember, pullers, if you won an event this season, your name went on the card. did you stir them up enough? I don't think that you had your hands swishing in the jar enough. Okay, go ahead, Kyle. Let's see who we get. Let's see who's going to take it home. Swish. Uh-oh, who is it? Let's see. Forever Hooked, Dale Nelson. So I don't think Dale's here tonight. Dale is not here tonight, but Dale, if you're watching, as you should be on YouTube, I feel like this should be like a not present draw again. No, I'm just kidding. So Dale, thank you so much, Kyle. And Dale can get with John and Christy to get that home. And once again, thanks to Holzhauer's and Kawasaki Auto Parts. You know, they hooked us up with something really cool again this year to give away to you guys. Okay, and now, without further ado, let's crown our 2025 Champions Tour champions. How about everybody give a huge round of applause to Ross Fitz, our editor, our producer, makes things happen behind the scenes, put together all of our videos for the banquet, does a huge part of our television production. Thanks as always, Ross. We appreciate you. So we're going to kick it off here tonight by honoring our Pro Stock tractors first. So if you are like me and you like to keep a track of where we are in the programming, we're going right down the order as it is in the book. So we can check them off as we go. I like a good checklist. John does not. And so we'll know where we are on this way. For the Pro Stock tractors presented by Lemke Motorsports, 14 hooks on this season, 7 different winners, including a couple of first-timers in the category. Let's give you the top 10. In 10th, the Rolling Stone, the Stones and the Johannamans. Rob Russell and the Workhorse Pro, 9th. 8th, the Hardcore Addiction, Andrew and Bradley Hartman. Hayden Arnold in the New Era, 7th. The 618 Motorsports Pro Stock and Brett Hagstadt finished 6th. 5th, Matt Holland and Glutton for Punishment. Kevin Masterson and Patrick Gentry drove the River Rat to 4th. Stepping on the podium in 3rd place, the Bulletproof Buck, Clint Medding. Connor and Conley Medding drove the Bull Wagon to 2nd. And your champion, back-to-back, the third year in a row, the title is going to go to Grandview, Indiana. Let's hear it for the Tinker Toy, Daryl Foles and Joey Harris.
I guess first off, I'd like to thank Hotshot Secret and Lemke Motorsports for sponsoring our class. John and Christy, really appreciate it. Riverside Engines, they do their best to keep us going. Just ask Clint. Weimer Fuel and Weimer Performance, there we go. And Josh Miley, I don't know what I'd do without you. C&M Pulling Tires, thank you, Chad and crew. Thank you, Angie, Bryn, Knox, Kale. Thank you, Daryl, for all you do. You may not think you help with the tractors, but you make it so we can work on the track. Joey, you just work tirelessly on these things. It's, you know, work on green equipment all day and then come to the shop in the evening. Patrick, you remember things that I don't, and it really helps out. Helping me in the shop during pulling season is wonderful. Ralphie, Robert Dimmitt, he helps out tremendously. I don't know what to do without him. Thank you all very much.
Congratulations once again, Pro Stock Tractors. We would like to honor next our mini rod tractors presented by SCS Gearbox. And at this time, Craig, if you want to come up and congratulate the winners in the class that you sponsored as well, that'd be amazing. So it was really an intense season for the mini rods. Only 8 hooks, 6 different venues, 4 different winners on the season. Here's your top 10. Rounding out the top 10, the Little Hurricane, Peter Norton. 9th, Logan Stevens, the Kansas Twister. 8th, Stress Relief, Todd Boltman. Logan Stevens in 7th with the Wheatland Express Mini Edition. Hurricane Haley in 6th, Haley Carrender. Tyler Slaw drove Show No Mercy to 5th. 4th, Have No Mercy, also driven by Tyler Slaw. Hopefully Bruce will get his act together and he'll be able to drive next year. Just throwing that out there. Sorry. 3rd, the Brett Berg in the Cash Cow. 2nd, Jeremy Nelson in the Category 1. And with back-to-back wins on the Goshen Evansville swing, which is tough, that's what helped our champion take the lead and secure his first championship, making history as the youngest champion in PPL history as a rookie. Your champion, Tanner Nelson, in half past midnight.
2025 was one of those years I know I'll never forget. Not because I won a championship, not because I won a few poles, mainly because of the fact that I finally got to do what I dreamed of doing since I was a little kid. Following my grandpa and my dad around in the shop. Coming into this season, I had no hopes of winning a championship in my rookie season, not because I thought it was impossible, but I came to reality, and you just never really hear of a rookie, 16-year-old winning a championship. But I guess that was all thrown out the window, and now I'm standing up here giving this dreaded speech. Coming into this season, I was just going to be happy to make every event and just make A to B passes, because I was told you're only rookie once, so make sure you make the most of it. And I think we made the most of it. I also want to point out the fact that I wasn't even supposed to be driving a mini rod. I was told I needed to start off in a truck and slowly move into a mini rod, but RJ and Brandon Simon, I owe you guys a shout out because you're the reason I am standing up here today. The 50,000 to win pole came about, and the owners of the tractor being my mom, my dad, Aunt Bethany, and Uncle Jared, I think they realized that I was the most ideal mini rod driver in our camp, and they ended up throwing me behind the wheel with a lot on the line there, but I was up for a good challenge. We came out of there with 2 6th-place finishes, and from that moment on, I was the hired gun. We got our worst finish out of the way in Henry with a 7th, but not that finishing 7th was bad in the class, especially with these people standing up here, but I felt like I didn't do my job as a driver. After that, I did my homework going into Goshen, and I really think that paid off with my first Champions Tour win. Your first win is very special. Most of you guys out here today probably remember your first win like it was yesterday. The next night, Evansville turned into my second Champions Tour win, but the highlight for my Evansville was going 1 and 2 with my dad. That's something I think I've dreamed of since I can remember. Most people don't get to pull alongside their dad, but I'm very grateful for the opportunity I have to pull alongside of you. Leaving Evansville, I felt like we had the tractor to beat. Altamont was soon rained out, which was the biggest letdown of my week for sure. I was ready for a three-peat, but we were going into the final 4 hooks with a points lead, and I didn't really think that would ever happen. Going in Hillsboro, Dad and I came out 1 and 2. This time, Dad got me. Going into Saturday, I was ready to throw down for a belt buckle, but Mother Nature had other plans. Hillsboro is a place where I think I can just count on not getting around my dad, because that place loves my dad. Truck, mini rod, he's going to come out of there with a belt buckle. Saturday was soon rained out. My eyes were on Nashville. I couldn't really get excited for Nashville because me and my dad were 1 and 2, and he's worked so much longer and harder for a championship than I have. But at the end of the day, I know he was going to be just as happy as I would be if I won. Friday night was pretty nerve-wracking. Nobody was getting down the track. I didn't really have a lot of seat time. I felt like in that moment everything was against us. We had one hell of a summer, and my lack of seat time was going to show. But the crew standing behind me, Uncle Jared, Jordan, John Card, they gave me a hell of a tractor to get down the track, and we went A to B and stretched our points lead a little more. We had a 14-point lead going into Saturday night. We went A to B, and I knew if I took the lead, it was wrapped up. I knew it was close, but I didn't know if I took the lead or not. When I got the tractor shut off, I heard that I'd taken the lead, and I was the official 2025 mini rod champion, and that's something I thought I would never hear for a long time, especially in this class. Dad and I went 1 and 2 Saturday night once again. Dad and I had a total of 4 wins out of 6 hooks, and 1 and 2 finishes 3 of the 4 times. Yes, it was a short season, but when you can pull off 4 wins in this class, you have done something. This class is tough top to bottom. There's a lot of people I need to thank. First and foremost, my mom and dad. Without them, none of this would be possible. My mom deserves a big shout out. She stepped away from the driver's seat, letting me wheel 2 vehicles all summer. She's always been there for me, whether it's making me food 30 minutes before pull time or trying to make me laugh when I'm overthinking the drive. My dad, he's been there since the very beginning. My dad has been my coach, my best friend, my teammate, and my biggest supporter. I'm very special to have a dad like you. And I need to thank you for giving me this opportunity to live out my dream. Going 1 and 2 with you in points this summer was truly something I had dreamed of since I was a little kid. Winning this championship was very cool, but pulling alongside of you was a highlight of my summer. This championship is just as much yours as it is mine. My sister, anytime I start talking about anything pulling, she's always there for me. She's open to admit that she doesn't know much about pulling, but if I start ranting in the shop about game plan for this weekend, overdrive, timing, whatnot, she's always there. She's always there for me. Sorry. Fuck. Wow. My sister is definitely my biggest fan. I love you, Kayla. Next, I need to thank my aunt and uncle, Jared and Bethany. They're halves in the tractor, and they let me wheel it all summer long. I can't thank them enough for that. They took a shot on me, and I don't think they ever really thought that we would go on to win a championship, but it's special when your family had enough confidence in me to let me wheel the tractor all summer. The whole Midnight Motorsports crew, Beaver, better known as Aaron, actually better known as Beaver, Blake, Jordan. Jordan, I've cherished every moment with you ever since you moved back. You've been there every step of the way, and I can't thank you enough for the information you have given me this past year and a half. Ann, Cruz, Carter, Ella, Grace, my grandpa, Dale, Grandma Glenda, Brady, Reese, Brett Berg, and Jeannie. I wish they were here tonight, but Brett became a bonus grandpa for me. He's gave me a lot of advice. He's truly helped throughout the summer. He always tells me how it is, whether I drove like a dough dick or not. Carol and John Card and the crew at Sassy. It's no secret that last summer was nothing to be proud of. We tore up a lot of stuff. He went straight to work all winter long and turned his program around 180 degrees. I don't think he gets enough credit for all of his hard work and putting up with me. He's truly the baddest man I know. My Aunt Kristen and Uncle Cole, they're always calling me, telling me it's a learning year and I can't win them all. And I think any of you guys that know me, I want to win them all. Brant Sullivan, he's given me a lot of helpful information. He's calmed me down. I was pretty heated after I supposedly ran my truck out of bounds at Goshen. I felt like I had a chance to win a championship. I had kept up with Uncle Jared all summer long, but from that moment on, my priority was on the mini rod. Brant's always been there whenever I needed somebody to lean on, and I can't thank him enough for that. The whole Shelton family, I know they're not here. They're truly my home away from home. Reese, he's become a big brother to me that I never had. He's always had confidence in me when I needed it most. There wasn't a pull that went by, whether he was there or not. He was texting me good luck and to go kick their ass. SSI Superchargers, they keep us at the top with their top-notch blowers. Chad Mayhill for the tires, him and his crew do great work. DSR Performance, Zempico Oils, Protect System, FAB Machine, Matt Johnson. Without him, really none of this would be possible. Before I leave up here tonight, there are two more people that I need to thank. These two people aren't here tonight, but I know they have the best seat in the house, and they have been there every step in the way. This championship is dedicated to my grandma and grandpa, John and Brenda Moomaw. I wish like hell they could be here today, but I know they have the best seat in the house. Thank you, guys.
Congratulations once again to all of our mini rod tractor pullers. Up next will be our Super Farm tractors presented by Apex Turbo, and we welcome Brenton Rogers to the stage to help present for this class as well. 12 hooks on the season for the Super Farms, 11 different venues, 6 different winners in this category. Rounding out the top 10, it's the Fast and Furious, Don James and Tyler Slama. Michael Snepp and the Thunderstorm, 9th. Tied for 7th, the Twisted Deer, Casey and Corey Fritz, and Crank It Up, Dan and Don Vinny. Tied for 4th. This just shows you how competitive this group is. Hooked Up, Brian Barman, Wicked Whitetail, Jeremy Roberts, and the Screamin' Norwegian, Score, Boyd, and Johnson. Stepping on the podium in 3rd, the Positive Ground, and Chuck Gunterberg. Josh Miley and High Maintenance finished 2nd. And with 2 wins on the season and never finishing outside of the top 5, your champion, Shane Maston, the Thumpin' Pumpkin.
Well, I don't know how to follow what he did because he had a nice speech. And if they would have let me win this about 4 years ago, I wouldn't have to wear glasses. But it is what it is. So I'm going to read off this here. Wow, what a difference a year makes. Last year we left the dyno with the most power we ever had, and we thought this is going to be good. Well, we finished the worst we ever finished. Finished 11th in the tour last year. Then this year came along and we started out just like last year at the Pullers Championship, 6th and 9th. Went home feeling pretty discouraged. And then we rolled into our first hook of the 25 season, and it was like a switch flipped. I have no idea why, but we started a streak. In the first 9 hooks, we were never out of the top 3. When we needed to hook late, we hooked late. When we needed to hook early, we hooked early. We really couldn't do anything wrong. We had a lot of luck and performance all in our favor. There are so many people, friends, family, to thank. I guess it starts with my dad. If he hadn't got me into tractor pulling, I wouldn't be here. I mean, that's pretty simple. I got to thank Amy. She's a trooper. All these pulls I go to, she doesn't really care about. She stays home with the dogs, and when I get home, she's still there, thankfully. I got to thank my 2 boys, Ryan and Dawson. Next is Nick. He was a trooper this year. He went to every hook with us. True teammate. Then Alex, Uncle Mike, Josh, Gary, for keeping the farm running while I'm gone, doing all this all summer, because as everybody knows, it takes a lot of people to make things happen at home. Now, the people that actually keep the tractor going down the track, Ryan and Pat at Salem Bean Performance, we spend days over there every winter and sometimes in the summer dynoing both motors. We've been with them since they started, and they are a huge part of our team. Also, I want to thank Apex Turbo, and then this year we added somebody else to our team, Mr. Kent Payne. You get Kent, Ryan, Pat, and Arthur in a room, and good things happen in our class. I'd like to thank SCS for finally getting me a transmission that doesn't break all the time, because all the stuff we had before theirs was junk, and it holds up to what we put it through. Chad for putting a good cut on the tires and getting the horsepower to the track. And then there's Arthur. He and Alex make more trips to the dyno than I'd like to even talk about. But when you get, he knows this tractor inside and out. There's not one part of it he hasn't touched. And at some point, or built something on it. He deserves as much credit as I get or more, because it doesn't go without him. I also got to thank his wife, Laura, because this year she let him go for the whole season, and you see what happened. I also got to thank the group of competitors standing behind me, because they make you get better. You have no choice. I would take them anywhere pulling, and we would be a problem for the opposing group. Any one of them can be standing where I'm at. I'm just lucky enough to be here. Finally, John and Christy and the whole Hotshot Secret group and PPL staff, they do an awesome job, and they keep the train rolling every year for us when we all complain about little stupid shit, and they just grin and bear and go on with it. I want to personally thank them, and we look forward to the 26th season.
Congratulations, Super Farm drivers. Next up, the super modified two-wheel drive trucks presented by Optima Batteries. And I think that they were no shortage of excitement here. And unfortunately, I think that they were trying to get a different sponsorship this summer by getting so close to the chalk lines all season long. So you can talk to John about that. I won't say that out loud, but we all know what that one is. 13 events on the season, 7 different winners. Here is your top 5. Jesse Petro and the P5 finished 10th. 9th, the Parts City Auto Parts and Lisa Tatum. Tanner Nelson and Midnight Chaos, 8th. 7th, the Rampage, Jonathan Payne. Dale Nelson drove Forever Hooked to 6th. Rounding out the top 5, Addiction, Michael White. Jeremy Nelson and the Midnight Grambler finished 4th. Stepping on the podium in 3rd, two-timing Chad Mayhill. Your runner-up, driving Sweet Revenge, Bethany Nelson. And your champion took the lead at the second hook of the season and held on with 2 wins over the course of the season and is now tied for the most championships in the category with 3. Congratulations to the Midnight Revenger, Jared Nelson. Fun fact, there's no more bragging rights in the Jared and Bethany Nelson household because Jared has now tied Bethany and Keith Long with the most wins, so she can no longer hold that over her head.
And for the record, I didn't run out of bounds this year any. Unlike my teammates. Our team had an incredible 2025 season, beginning with our historic win in Farley and securing not 1, but 2 PPL championships. But also found this one a little more special because the battle to the end with my wife for first and second. It kind of kept things interesting. Last season, we appeared to be plagued with nothing but bad luck, unable to establish consistent rhythm. Therefore, we are very grateful to John Card, Sassy Racing Engines, for addressing many of our challenges we encountered last season, allowing us to achieve the crucial consistency that is essential for winning a championship. When asked what it takes to win, we constantly emphasize the significance of consistency and good luck. We started the year by keeping the Revenger in the top 3 the first few weekends, which gave us the much-needed boost to our season. The dreaded Goshen Evansville was the dreaded Goshen-Evansville. Plagued, I think, my worst finish, which luckily was one of the years where, as everybody knows, you never want a 25-point night. I kept from that, but I wasn't far from it. As we had the challenges for that, we were able to overcome that, being our worst two finishes. Then managed to get to the end of the year, finish the last part of the season, top 4 out of the last 5 events, proving that the word consistency we all use was very key. But it's not just about the truck's performance. We have an amazing group of individuals who make this possible. My wife, my kids, their unwavering support and assistance. My awesome crew, Aaron, a.k.a. Beaver, Lance, Jordan, my teammates, Jeremy and Tanner, and the rest of the Midnight Motorsports crew. And I can't forget our chef this season, Misty. A huge shout out to John Card and Sassy Engines. He's constantly striving to improve our parts and extend their lifespan, keeping us at the top of our game. This year, he truly exceeded our expectations. We also can't forget Chad Mayhill, his exceptional tire work. SSI Superchargers, DSR Performance, Full Pull Motorsports, Hotshot Secrets, Optima Battery, Summit Racing, Callie's, Senpico Oil, and of course John and Christy and the entire Pro Pulling League crew for all their incredible contributions. 2025 was definitely a memorable season, not only winning the two-wheel drive championships, but watching my nephew in his season debut with the Mini, also collecting his first championship. We eagerly anticipate what 2026 holds for our team. Thank you once again for being part of our special season.
Congratulations, Super Modified two-wheel drives. All right, we'll be moving on next to our ARP lightweight super stock tractors. 8 hooks, 5 different winners on the season. Here are the results. In 7th, the Nano Yield tractor driven by Scott and Colton Whitworth. David Esteb in the Eaton Dollars Aukey edition finished 6th. 5th, Field Sobriety, Bobby Jones. Mark Filiatro, Burnin' Daylight, 4th. 3rd, the Little Dominator, Mike and Michelle Novinger. Elmer Haug in the Little Temptation finished 2nd, and Dale and Brian Haug finished 1st, your champions here in the Big Temptation, the dominating season for the Haugs here with the 1-2 punch.
On behalf of myself and my brother Dale, I would like to thank God, my Lord and my Savior, and also my parents, Elmer and Jane, because without their support and ours, and the hours of work that Dad puts into this pulling team, this would not be possible. I'm just happy to be here and be one of the lucky one of us two between myself and my brother to be able to sit in a seat and pilot the tractor down the track. I also want to thank Dale's wife Kelly and my wife, especially my wife Mary, for their patience and understanding of the time it takes to do this. Whether it is my brother Rodney, my sister Shelley, or the rest of the family. Thank all of you for what you do to help. This pulling team is truly a family effort, and it takes all of us to succeed. I want to thank Hotshot Secret and our class sponsor, ARP, for your support of the organization and our class. As many of you may know, we were very close to winning a points championship in the past, with having the points lead going into the last hook of the season, and then to have some kind of powertrain failure and kind of derail that championship. But I think now that we might have that gremlin off our back. Thank you all. This is very much appreciated and an honor to be up here. Thank you.
Congratulations, Light Supers. All right, up next, it will be ARP as the sponsor once again, but this time ARP Superstock Diesel Trucks. Very exciting season. 11 hooks, 5 different winners. Here's your top 10. Eric and Lily Stacy, 9th in the Smokin' Ya. 8th, the Antler Addiction, Ben Shemp. Cody Lee and One Nation, 7th. 6th, Cream of the Crop, Justin Gerhart. Van Hazley finished 5th in the Rock Hard Ram. 4th was the Caretaker and Chase Eller. Keith Witt finished 3rd in American Pride. The Shy Diesel Truck was your runner-up this year, driven by Kent Crowder. And your champion with 5 wins and a truck that kept showing up and showing out for him all season long, Terry Biggs in Deadpool.
I didn't think I'd ever be up here. It's been a long road. We've fought through a lot of issues over the years. Number one, I've learned I shouldn't be building my own truck, so I need to leave that to the professionals. John and Christy, thank you for your common sense approach to the organization. Really appreciate it. Got to thank my wife, of course, and my family. Their support has been unwavering the whole time. Need to thank ARP, of course, for sponsoring our class. Arts Diesel, they spent a lot of time with us this year. We went out, worked through some issues, and really made the truck a lot easier to drive. Bob Nichols with Nichols Tires, Wagler Performance, my family from down south in Tennessee, the Ellers, give me support through the whole, we go back and forth, we help each other out. It means a lot to me. And then, of course, O'Brien Diesel. They've been with me for, I don't even remember, Chase probably knows how long it's been, but it's been a long time. I begged and pleaded for them to build me a chassis. They wanted to bring their own out first because they wanted to make sure it was going to work before they would build one for somebody else. And they set theirs aside and put mine ahead of the line, and we finished putting it together last year for Shide Friday night. Of course, we didn't get to pull. We weren't finished. Tragedy happened. We were up to I think 3 o'clock in the morning that night working on it. Showed up at Shide at Saturday. Did a test pull. Bounced off the ground. Of course, I don't know how many of you know Patrick, but he's a very motivational speaker. His words to me were, "You're fired." So luckily, after that, went back and regrouped. We didn't change anything, and it won the first time out on Saturday. Didn't think it would ever get any better than that. We came out this year, and it's just been flawless. I mean, the guys know Patrick and Adam. I mean, they spend a lot of time on the truck. They care about what it looks like, how things finished out. I'm not allowed to touch it anymore because when I touch it, it breaks, which I've proven twice this year. But those guys, I mean, hats off to them. This is as much for them as it is for me. They put that motor together, and every season, I think, up till now, I've been to the dyno. This year, they just know what they're doing. They put it in the truck, and we ran it, and we haven't touched it since. So I can't say enough about those guys. Thank you.
Congratulations to all our ARP Superstock diesel truck drivers. Next, it'll be our pro-modified four-wheel drive trucks presented by Summit Racing Equipment. And this class had the most diversity, tons of veteran pullers in there, 11 hooks and 8 different winners on the season. Here are the results. Brad Hunter finished 9th in Knight Rider. 8th was the Foxy Lady, Charlie and Ed Miller. Jim Bosch in the Midnight Raider finished 7th. 6th, John Stick driving Stick It. Terry Hagedorn drove Kicking Up Dust to 5th. We had a pair of trucks tied for 3rd this season, the Southern Belle, Gerald Almond and Steve Bost and Cody Lewis and Fired Up. Your runner-up in Gunpowder and Lead, Terry Hagedorn. And picking up his 3rd championship with a very, very consistent season. Let's hear it for Steve Clem in Radical. So just to clarify, I said I'm really good with the to-do list. John Mears is not. He left this little detail out that we were going to do this interview. So we'll just do this. So, it's really interesting to me. I go back and I look at the records, and, we see your name in the back of the program in 06, 07, and you reminded me that during the ATPA days, you won in 05 too. And so, it's been a little bit of a stretch since you've been up here this year.
It has been a long time. Started back first of the year, we went to Farm Show and won the Farm Show. Won it in 2005, backed it up with a 2025. My son tells me, Daddy, we're going to win a championship. So they pushed me, and, here I am.
So when he tells you that, you're thinking about this because, we talked earlier this season, usually you send your motor out to be freshened up, you make some changes, you try to do some things, but that wasn't the case for this year, and he's telling you you're going to win a championship?
Well, I gotta give a special thanks to Visitor Engine Development. Got with him, hooked up with him in 2019. 2020, he built me a motor, and we run that motor the season 23, 24. I had a knee replacement last November, so I didn't know if I was going to pull this year or not. But, of course, my Rat Pack back here at the table, I got to thank them and my wife for supporting me. But they sent my dues in, and, I'm like, I don't know if I can make this happen. But we pushed through, and here we stand.
So, very exciting. Is it still as exciting to do it for the third time as it was the first and the second with PPL?
Well, I've got to tell you, some people may say it's gotten easier. Our class, we didn't have as many competitors. Back in 2005, 6, and 7, when I won my championships, we had 16 to 18, contestants at every show. And this year, our class wasn't as big. But someone made a comment to me. He says, it was a little easier this year. And I said, no, it never gets easier when you have multiple time champions standing beside you. And
he wants to be picked up. I'll hold this helmet. You hold the baby.
Here's my baby. This is going to be the third generation, I think, someday.
But you're right. 8 different winners in your category, a ton of veterans in there. It's not easy. It's a great group to run with because it's always exciting because you never know what's going to happen.
Well, that's true. These guys, I was fortunate to get 3 wins this year, and them wins on a motor that I had financially, I had the knee replacement. I like I said, I didn't know whether I was going to do it, and I come out, and this VED motor put me in a championship with 3 seasons. The motor hadn't been out of the truck.
So you thank the Rat Pack, you thank the visitor people. Who else you got to thank out there for making this happen, hoping you make this happen?
Well, I've got to thank Hotshot Secrets, Summit, our sponsor, all the PPL guys, my competitors. Got a buddy back home, Johnny Adams. I want to throw a special thanks to him. And just everybody involved.
Congratulations, Steve. If you can handle all of it at once.
And one more thing. This helmet means more than anything.
Special shout out right here, Jeremy Nelson. Nelson Custom Paint does our helmets and has for the last several years. So special shout out for those great pieces. Congratulations once again, Pro Modified 4-wheel drive truck drivers. It was a little bit of a sprint for our next class, the Mack Trailer Hot Rod Semis. So no shortage of excitement as 2 competitors battled it down to the very end. Here's your top 5. Number 5, Playing with Fire, Ryan DeBro. Mitch and Erica Clout finished 4th in the Rubber Duck. The Driver's Wanted truck finished 3rd with RJ Simon behind the wheel. Chris Wood and the Class Act finished 2nd. And with 3 wins in a row to close out the season to secure the championship, your champion, Spencer Rook in the Hillbilly Deluxe.
First off, I'd like to thank Hotshot Secret, John and Christy. Without them, none of us would be standing here. They do a phenomenal job. They are simply the best. I'd like to thank Mack Trailer, Weimer Performance, Atlas Tractor, Cyclone Performance, Super Rooster Motorsports. Without them, that thing wouldn't run how it does. My family and friends, I would not be standing here tonight if it wasn't for my dad. He puts in a lot of work to this thing, thinking of things to do and ways to make it better, make it hook better. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. He's taught me everything I know about pulling from, I started out when I was wee little garden tractors, and at 16 I jumped up the semi. And nobody deserves this as much as he does too, because he's the one behind the scenes doing a lot of it and everything. It's been a long time coming. I'd like to thank my mom for everything she does, my fiance, the 2 daughters, I mean, they sacrifice a lot throughout the year, a lot of hours when we've spent wrenching on this thing and everything. But that's all. Thank you very much.
Congratulations to a great group of Mack Trailer Hot Rod semis. Moving on, it will be our unlimited Superstock tractors presented by Big St. Charles Motorsports next. A very, very exciting season that came down to the final hook to determine who our winner was going to be here. In at 9th, Mike and Michelle Nobinger in the Dominator Deer. 8th, the Warrior, Mark Binniger. Craig Peterson in the MMG 1000 finished 7th. 6th, the Field Forged, Scott and Colton Whitworth. Brent Bacchus in Out of Time was 5th. The T-Cobb, the Taking Care of Business, and Aaron Hall 4th. Stepping on the podium in 3rd, Jeff Hodem in the Fully Loaded. 2nd, the Rutten Deer and Zane Daly. And your champion, Bob Gansmer, the Rutten Deer.
Bob wasn't able to make it here this weekend, unfortunately. We'd like to thank John Christie and everybody at PPL for all they do, especially for moving classes around at Goshen when our toter broke so that we got the chance to pull, because without that, we would have never been here. Big St. Charles Motorsports for sponsoring our class and all the other sponsors. Blackburn Racing Components, they do a lot to keep us running. Bob Schmidt for coming with us and helping out. I got to thank my wife for all she does for us when we go pulling. And we had a great summer, and we're lucky enough to come out on top against a really tough group of tractors. Thanks again, and thanks to anyone I'm forgetting about.
Congratulations, Unlimited Superstocks. And our final class to recognize tonight will be the Super Modified Tractors presented by Mitas Tires. So 10 different events on the season, 3 different winners. Here is how they fell in order. In 8th, Takes a Lickin', Steve Bunnage. Dylan Owens and the Thorn finished 7th. 6th, the Ramblin' Rose, Tom Owens. Dan Walsh and the Meristem Crop Performance Tractor finished 5th. The Four Aces and Dave Walsh finished 4th. 3rd, the Meristem Crop Performance 2.0, Ron Langer. Your runner-up, Brett Berg and the Rank Seed Moneymaker. And back-to-back championships for Brandon Simon this year in Simon Says.
Don't get easier, Tanner, so each time it's a little bit harder, I think. But yeah, it's been a record year. I just couldn't do it without all the people behind me, my brother, his wife, and all of the shenanigans that go on around at Simon Says Motorsports and all of our businesses. And My wife, for everything she does. She's still lucky, and I think sometimes I'm pretty lucky too. But thanks for everything you do to keep everything going, and all my kids back at home. Couldn't do it without their support, and Jody puts up with a lot when I tell her we're leaving Toma, and RJ's got to get the trophy, and we're making Missouri tonight, and that was pretty cool, and couldn't do it without my brother-in-law Jerry for meeting us at the exit ramp on 151 and putting fuel on. When Owens went by and seen that we were getting fuel alongside the road, he knew he was up with some competition when we had a pit stop along 151. And I mean, we started the season off at the farm show, and me and Brad and the crew were down in Phillips's shop overhauling heavy because we heard it in the pull-off at the farm show, and they all said that the mods getting into a protest, and we didn't sweat a bullet, and we appreciate their donation to our team because we spent it on beer, and we had a lot of fun this season for that, and it just kind of set our goal for the season, and when that happened, and I mean, we just stepped in with both feet, and we said they were going to chase us all year, and they chased us the year before, and they chased us this year, and they're not here tonight. God bless it, and we're having a lot of fun, but couldn't do it without a lot of good help. Brad walk up for everything he does for our team. He's like a big daddy to me, but he's it's hard to put into words what he does for our team, our family, and couldn't do it without him. He can still drink more Busch Lights than me, but I'm going to catch him one of these days. Thanks for everything you do, Brad, for us. Mike Mullins, thank you. And Steve Olson, Chris Bergfeld, just everybody back at the shop that helps us. Takes a big army to keep behind my ideas and my brother's, because he wants to be a big trucker and semi and two-wheel drive, and I even let him drive my pro when I can't make it, so he's pretty honored for that. He does all right, but we're still coaching him, so. And just a big thanks to my mom and dad for everything they did. You know, it takes a good mentor and coach to become this, and we've seen it tonight with Jeremy and Tanner. That was pretty special. That's like every dad's dream right there, Jeremy. I hope you cherish that, and as much as we all did here tonight. And Tanner, congratulations. That was pretty cool. Just big thanks to my mom and dad for everything they did for me throughout my whole career, and I don't think we're done yet, but we're still trucking at it. So my Uncle Marty, Norm, just everybody that comes with us that makes it happen, everybody back at the farm keeps all them cattle fed when I go out on a 3-day weekend and try to win championships. Couldn't do without them, and just everybody. Sampico Oil for everything they did for our team throughout this journey. Their product is second to none. I mean, we load that thing up at Toma and make Missouri and put more laps on it, and that old mod takes a torture every time I get behind the wheel. Some people say I drive it too hard, but Adam Kester says you're doing just fine, and I thank him for everything he does for our motor program, and SSI, Chad Mayhill, just couldn't do it without everybody. I appreciate everybody, and congratulations to all the champions here tonight. Thanks to John and Christy for everything they do, and just everybody that helped me throughout the year. Thank you.
Congratulations to our super modified tractors. Let's hear it one more time for our Champions Tour competitors and champions. All right, so the stage is getting a little bare. We've only got a few things left. It's time for the special awards. And so first up will be Christy Asher with the Pull of the Year.
The Hotshots Pro Pointing League is lucky to work with a great group of promoters who are the backbone of our events. They work hard all year to get ready, making sure each pull is the best it can be. We're thankful for everything they do. Our 2025 Pull of the Year shows what all the promoters aim for. They serve the fans, the pullers, the sponsors, and everyone involved in the best way possible. As one of the originals of Pro Pulling League back in 2006, they were with us from 2006 to 2012. They returned with a great enthusiasm and high hopes for 2025, delivering on their goals to show how it can be done, culminating in 2 fantastic days of pulling action. Our 2025 Hotshot Secret Pull of the Year is the Show Me Showdown, Macon, Missouri.
So I didn't anticipate this by any stretch of the imagination, so I didn't write anything. So we're gonna try to thank the proper people that we should thank. Thanks to Hotshot Secrets for the pulling series that allows us promoters to have a group of pullers. The Jonathan and Christy put an enormous amount of work into the pre-event, and I feel like I wore them out. I felt like I was stalking them. We would go to an event, and if I saw something I didn't like, I texted them on Sunday on the way home and said, "Call me about this," and they would every time. And so we went over that stuff, and it was awesome to be able to work with them that way. I promote this with Stephen Schaus and his family and my family, and Stephen, he takes care of everything that has to do with the track. All that's his stuff. I get to do the easy stuff. I just like to. I want the pullers to be happy. That's what's important to me, and I want them to have everything they need, and I want you to enjoy your experience, and we want to try to do it as good as anyone else does it. And you know, we'll never be at Don Slama's level, but we try. I told my wife when I had this was kind of a bucket list thing for me to do, and I told my wife she would have to do nothing. So she saw the first post that Stephen put on Facebook or something, and she asked me who did that, and I said, well, I think Stephen did, and she said, well, you guys are not allowed to do that ever again because it's terrible. So at that point, my wife did all of any social media stuff. She did all of it, and she's never done that. So she spent more hours than any of the rest of us did trying to make it feel good and to put people in the seats. That's kind of a plus. My boys were invaluable to the pool. Gage, Cruz, Ryder, in taking care of the people and just all of the work that they put in, they put in so much work. We were fortunate enough to have, it's kind of a last minute thing for us, have some class sponsors, and some of these people, they didn't know who I was. I haven't been pulling for 15 years, and when I called Hazley's, I asked them, hey, can you help us out with a class sponsorship? And I think she maybe had to call around and ask some people, but after she did that, then she was in. And Larry with ProFab Machine, he did the same for us. I called Tim Engler, and he helped us out. And Sassy Engines, and I hadn't seen John in, gosh, 20 years since we pulled with him out east. And they were just really nice. I called Performance Pros, and he was happy to help out too. And so that those sponsors mean a lot because they give back to our individual classes. And our main sponsor was Sheraton Valley, which is a communications company in Macon, and they made it their personal goal to give us anything we needed, and they were already on board for next year, and they were excited for that. We had a couple of people that, for no other reason than just wanting to see the pull, my good friend Nick Bloomberg and Eric Claypool, they helped all week, took off work all week, the week of the pull, and they were there crazy amounts of hours. And it's the same track crew that's been doing it since one of our guys on the starting line that runs the skid loader, he was there at the very first Grand National Pull back in 90-something. I don't even know. But a lot of the crew is. They're the same people. I just got to come on and kind of be the voice and get the benefit of what those guys are already doing. We don't have to tell them anything. And when I asked, I wanted to have someone there to do, the announcing for like the winners, and Leslie was kind enough to come and offer her services and did a rock star of a job, and then got more jobs that weren't even on the list, and she just took those on and did those outstanding too. And Ross tried so hard with the television stuff. I mean, did a great job. I don't know if the other promoters are as happy with their sled settings as we were, but I asked Brandon, I said, could we please have 350-foot track? And I just don't want anything at 300 or under. And I mean, they nailed it all weekend. It was outstanding. We got comments all over town. I'm still getting comments about how happy they were with that and how fast they were. And yes, when the Simons tractor comes out and goes, I don't even, he just shut it off, I think. I mean, it was 400 feet probably, and okay, that's cool. That's the way you finish a night session. I just want to say thank you. We didn't have one, and I mean not one single complaint about a puller. We didn't have, hey guys, can you get them off the end of the track or anything like that. I mean, it was perfect. Every puller just did an awesome job. And we were so appreciative of that. So thank you guys for the show you put on, because we still get comments in town and even, you know, around the pulling world, other organizations. They were at the pull and they comment on that. So that means a ton to me. And my boys got to go pulling with me all summer, so that was a lot of fun too. And they just run it a lot harder than I do. They try to drive like Simons do. You got anything you want to say? All right. Thank you guys. I very appreciate it.
So congratulations to the Show Me Showdown. I know that was one of the first polls that I ever really, and actually the second poll that I ever announced in 2006. So I've been doing this 20 years as well. This guy over here kind of sucked me right into it, and now you're just stuck with me. So there you go. So now it's time. Go ahead. You want to say something?
Like Velcro.
Oh. I'm the soft, fuzzy side, right? You're the prickly side?
Absolutely.
Okay. Good answer. All right, John, you're already set and ready to go. Please give us a little information so we can try to guess who the puller of the year is going to be.
Sure thing. You know, puller of the year is always a hard decision. We've got so many great people in this room. It can go to anyone and everyone at the same time. But this person is just an all-around great person. They may not have had the best season competition-wise, but they're always willing to helping hand, always calling me, saying about this rule or that rule, or can I do this or do that? And it's sometimes you got to just say, no, sorry, you can't do that. But they're an ambassador to the whole sport, not only just their class, but to the whole sport. And I think this one just represents everything that to being an ambassador to pulling is what it means, and it's Bobby Jones.
Well, guys, I really don't know what to say, and all of you know me. For me to be speechless is something that's hard to do. And as for, like Jonathan has said, I mean, I just called him just about a week ago about a couple things, and I said, I haven't talked to you in almost a month and a half. I'm pretty sure you're getting bored and not listening to me, but and come to find out the questions that I had affected us all, but it's just the way that it goes. But as for being an ambassador to the sport, I do love the sport. I have ever since I was a little kid, watching guys at home pull, growing up around the sport, starting. Actually, the first place that we pulled with PPL was Hillsboro, Wisconsin, and we went home, and I told my wife, I said, man, I had such a great time. We went back to Hillsboro the next year and been pulling with PPL ever since. And this year was, I guess, a devastating year that all of us in pulling have had happen, hate to have happen, and I can't believe that they didn't show the clip from Freeport as we busted a piston and, of course, sent a rod off the reservation. And at that point in time, you know, I heard the tractor pop and it kind of died, and I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, oh, heck, it just popped the bottom charger. I said, I got one in the trailer. We were supposed to go to Goshen the next day. And I'm sitting here, and Christy, she runs up, and she's like, are you all right? And I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, heck, I just popped the charger. I heard it pop, you know. Well, none announced to me that flames out the back of it and the bottom. And then I heard the announcer say, oh, that's not good. I can hear dimples in the side shield from here. And I thought, oh, I better not say what I said, but I thought that wasn't a charger. And then I guess I told my wife, I said, well, go home, park the tractor. I was helping Brian and Braden Schrammick work on the Pro Stock and their light super, and that was keeping me humping. And I said, we'll just put ours in the shed. I'll work on it this winter. Well, Terry Blackburn was up there at Freeport, and he's like, hey, you got Hillsboro coming up, don't you? And I said, no, I'm going to do it this winter. All the way home, my wife kept harping at me. You know, we got to go home and get the tractor apart. We got to see what's wrong. We got to work. We got to, you know. And as it turned out, 2 weeks I didn't sleep, but the only pull we ended up missing was Goshen. And as for everything else, I try to help the competitors in our class, you know, and so forth. And Martin couldn't be with us this year, and he's a great puller and a friend, and it was just everybody that pulls, I can guarantee you, is an ambassador and is puller of the year. It's just not the person up here. It's all of us. The hours we put in, the time we put in, it just everybody deserves this. It's just not one person. Thank you guys very much.
And now for our final award of the evening, the Lifetime Achievement Award.
These ones are always tough, right? Lifetime achievement this year is a puller, a leader, a promoter, a spokesperson for the sport. His pulling career spanned 5 decades. He's been a potent force on the track, started his pulling journey back in the mid-'80s with an 806 International. He's also led a pulling organization to new heights. Lots of events, lots of equipment. He's always engaging to fans, sponsors in this new digital era with great success. He's also served his country. Was on the member of his National Guard for a couple years. He's a friend to the sport, vital member to the Pro Pulling League. He's a vital member to our family. You know what I mean? Like he's just part of our family. We can't thank him enough for the vision that he does, gets up every day, trudges through it just like we do. Greg Elsing.
I don't know what.
Hang on. You don't have to say anything yet. Maybe they'll play the video.
You have a video? Is the oil plug coming out?
Well, come on. Everything was rolling. We do have a couple of special.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're having a few technical difficulties at this time. Please have patience with us as we work through these.
Your call is very important to us. Please press 1.
For John Mears.
Beep. Oh, what the heck?
Everybody's seen me do enough dumb shit already.
Well, do the dumb shit up here then.
I don't know what to say. Thanks, John. He was quizzing me last night about stuff, and you were about when I started and my guard, my service, and all that stuff. And I didn't know it at the time, but when I was sitting over there and you started saying that, I'm like, oh man. You know, what do you do? Yeah. I don't know. The 806 was the second tractor. I started on a Massey Harris 44 Special in 1979, and loved the sport. The school started me, and I turned in at 91 or 2. I joined Badger State. I asked a question at the meeting about something. Well, then you want to run it? And I said, I don't know, do I? And I got on the board there, Larry Wolf and I, back in the day. I think, honestly, I might be a little arrogant, but I think Badger State's one of the best clubs I do. It's a family, and we've talked about it. You get there, you miss people. Our banquet, people say, hey, I got to get my corn done so I can make it to the banquet. I don't want to miss it, you know. And you've been there, and probably a few other people. It's a lot of fun. We do it at a water park. Kids are all there. Grandkids, people's grandkids and stuff, and that's what it means. It's not, you know, we can all be out here, you know, pulling and stuff, but it's about the friendships you made. My kids, I'm going to bring up Gary Brinkmeyer as an example. Their grandkids and all that. My kids grew up with them, and it's so important to see that and bring this to the next level. It is, you know it, and I've known John and Christy and Mike back in the day. Dave Moore, I remember when we were switching from ATPA to Pro Pulling League. We're on the phone. Dave didn't know me, right? Dave, and he wouldn't answer my phone call. I said, are you guys doing this? I want to know if are we the only ones doing this or back and forth? And we finally talked, and we did it, and he did it, and it's history since, right?
Absolutely.
It is. It's a good history. You guys, with what you're doing this year, is the biggest thing I think that's hitting tractor pulling or truck pulling or, you know, just pulling in general. Right. I think it's the greatest thing you guys have brought to all of us. Yeah. I'm proud of you guys. I am.
Well, and we're proud of you, and I think that if we got it fixed, we can. Oh.
We got some family.
We got some family here.
Come on up.
It came as a surprise. But I think, you know, we also have to talk about the family that you've cultivated and the way that Badger State, you've led Badger State to give back. And how much money have you given to American Family Children's Hospital through Badger State over the years?
We'll hit $1 million this year. In 12 years, and we gave.
Part of the video was Lori Schultz, who's the representative of the American Family Children's Hospital, did a video, and it's fantastic. We'll get it up online, but yeah, they've got it. When they go to the banquet this year, it'll be $1 million over the 12 years that they've raised over just doing a tractor pull once a year.
Yep, thank you. And guys doing stuff like that is what it's all about. You know, you can get paid at the pull and think you need more money all the time, but you're never going to make enough money doing this, right? You can't. I don't know where it's coming from. It can't come from promoters anymore. We have to do the sponsors like you guys have done. Because when I sign a contract with a fair, I say, if you're not making money, don't hire us. Don't hire us unless you're going to make money. If you're losing money, I don't want to be known as the guy that sold you something you lost. We have to keep that in mind when we go out here to do this stuff, right? Right? Because if they don't make money, you're not coming back next year. So I don't know what else to say. Thank you. Emily's on crutches. You all know Emily, right? So she had a little accident, but She'll be all right? Yep. My sister Joellen and my son Avery. So thank you guys. Thank you so much.
Congratulations once again to our Pull of the Year, our Puller of the Year, and our Lifetime Achievement Award winner. Christy, was there something else? Do you have the video ready in the back? Yes, go ahead. Roll that beautiful bean footage. a lot of recognitions tonight, and as we bring everything to the close and we celebrate all our champions and our competitors for the 2025 season, and also 20 years of the Hotshot Secret Pro Pulling League, it's important, and I think a lot of our pullers have done this tonight, to recognize that, you know, growth is never by chance. It's always the results of forces working together. And, you know, our champions have said that. They've talked about the forces and mostly the people that have come together to help them grow and to make them what they are today. And, you know, if you think back to the humble beginnings of PPL, and I know there were several of you in here that were with us in 2006 celebrating that first night. If you think about that, we've gotten where we are today through the forces of continued support of loyal pullers, faith in new ideas, and the steadfast leadership from John and Christy. And while the colors may have changed a little bit, thank you, Hotshot Secret Pro Pulling League, we're a little green now, the people behind the name haven't changed. They're still the same. They're still working to make this sport better. They're committed to doing everything that they can to help this organization grow just as much as they did 20 years ago. So celebrate tonight, and as we move forward in 2026, we ask of you that you all be the force that works together to help these new ideas and alliances be successful in order to grow the sport that we all love. Thank you very much. For our champions tonight, don't forget all your goodies up here. We'll need to take some pictures for publicity and things like that. But other than that, thank you very much and good night.